This man is a reason that I'm writing into the pod. Well, you know what, girl? It happens.
Lesser men have brought us down, you know?
Truly.
Don't you worry about it, girlfriend.
Welcome to Guys We...
Hello, fuckers. How you doing? Did you have a great week? Did you know that a woman's greatest threat to her safety is another man, and likely one she knows very intimately?
Yes.
Welcome to another episode of Guys We Fuck.
It's the anti-slut-shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson. Don't rape.
Don't do it.
And if you want to email us, it's SorryAboutLastNightShow at gmail.com. You know. Tell us your stories.
Yes.
Give it to us. I love reading these. All right. Today's subject line: how do I break up with him? I've always considered myself a strong person until I fell in love.
Oh, girl, I hear you.
So much time goes down the drain. Looking for advice on how to break up with my boyfriend of 3 years.
What are you, a man?
The facts.
Just
Maybe.
do it.
I just turned 27. I'm a female. I live in Canada. I started working an amazing job when I was 21 at a very profitable clothing company. Wow, only in Canada, huh? Clothing company. I've been promoted over the last 5 years, making more money than I ever thought I would.
Nice.
Hell yeah. You're going to be single and rich?
Best way to be rich.
Absolutely. Honestly, yeah. So glad I was saved my single days for being rich. On top of working a full-time job, I started my clothing business at 23 years old during COVID. I don't do well with free time. Okay. Well, you're very productive. I moved into a very expensive dream studio loft. Oh my God. I want to live with you, where I have been able to grow my brand and a team of people who help me run it.
Nice
Girl,
show.
you are set up. Just break the fuck up with them.
Yeah.
Why are you dwelling? I have a wonderful family, a very close female friendships who support me in everything I choose to do. You're doing all the things right. You're doing all the things right, baby girl. I live a very amazing and lucky life.
It doesn't seem, I mean, some of it is luck, I suppose, but I
worked hard.
Yeah, don't take that away from yourself. You earned this.
But I fell in love 3 years ago.
Womp
It's like she's saying she's got cancer.
womp.
It's ruined my drive, my motivation, my ability to focus on my business aspirations.
You know what? I really relate to this.
I've never been in a relationship before this guy. He brings me flowers. He plans romantic dates, forces me to relax while working a full-time job and running a business.
Oh, that's how he's getting you.
Wait, this guy,
That's a
guy's
trick.
Cool.
I don't
What?
trust
Maybe
that.
it's not.
I don't trust that.
Maybe he just wants her to chill.
Yeah.
But he also
wants to, while she's taking a break, he's in the other room starting his competing clothing
Oh,
business.
you know what? With the news these days, I would believe it. I would fucking believe it. But he also drinks a lot. Oh. Is horrible with his finances.
Oh God. Oh God.
And might love playing video games more than me. Okay. All right. Those are very, very bad qualities.
My face with the video games was worse than the drinking. I was like, an alcoholic we can handle.
Alcoholic's at least charming and fun.
A gamer?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. I'm not watching you save the world from your couch.
No.
He missed my sister's wedding ceremony because he was at a bar drinking and lost track of time. At least he wasn't gaming.
Oh,
he
my
maxes
God.
out all of his credit cards on dumb things like new sunglasses. Hey, we're all trying. I find myself so anxious when I'm not with him. I'm so distracted. Girl, you got to dump this guy.
You can't marry a guy who's bad with finances.
No, hell no. Or at least if you have a talk about it, because, sometimes people change. I'm so distracted from my own goals, but I fear I have become codependent on him. I mean, for what? You are a fully operating human being without him. I rely on him for my emotional regulation. That's a trick. Sorry, guys, we're back. We had a little brief interruption. That's why I'm wearing lipstick now. The aliens were trying to talk to us and
blew our eardrums out.
Yes. Anywho, okay, so I find myself so anxious when I'm not with him. I'm so distracted from my own goals, but I fear I have become codependent on him. I rely on him for my emotional regulation, to plan my weekends, to escape from my stressful work. But the time I used to spend planning my business, I now spend worrying about him, about his drinking, about his health. These are all things that he should be worrying about.
Yeah, I thought you were distracted by love. You're distracted by raising your boyfriend.
Yeah, you got a son you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
My question's for you. I'm so strong and capable in my work, but why can't I break up with him? How do I break up with him? I feel like my heart is being ripped out of my chest and cut into 1,000 pieces when I think about leaving. That's because he feels like your son. But he isn't a good life companion for me.
Yeah, this is just addiction.
Thanks. P.S. I've been listening to you both since I was 19 years old. Your advice and wisdom has helped me achieve so much. I can't believe this man is the reason I'm writing into the pot. Well, you know what, girl? It happens.
Lesser men have brought us down, you know?
Truly.
Don't you worry about it, girlfriend.
Truly. When a relationship is codependent, it feels it's really tough to break out of. And I've had so many non-romantic relationships that were deeply codependent that were the hardest to break away from. And I always ask myself, like, why is this? It's because I feel like I'm torturing a child I didn't ask for. Like there is like a mother-child thing that happens here. And it seems like he's slipping into that too. You just got to do it. You just have to break up with him and stop freaking out about it over your head and go, this relationship isn't working for me. You don't really, you know?
Well, I feel like for this, you know, out of all the relationship advice I've read over the years, I feel like you're someone who could really benefit from the Guy Winch approach, which I used to talk about it all the time. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I mean, TED Talk available for free on YouTube. Just type in Guy Winch, how to fix a broken heart. Also has it in book form. I've read the book. It's like a tiny book. You can read it in a day easily. And he basically speaks about heartbreak as addiction. Usually it's a tool that you use after you already do the breakup, but I think you could do it before going through the breakup to help assist you in having the strength to go through the breakup.
Yeah.
So it basically walks you through how to heal your relationship with this person as if it is an addiction, which this sounds like codependency is basically an addiction.
Yeah.
And then, the most helpful tactic, which is you make a list in your phone about the reasons why this person is not good for you. And I think there's real power in looking at an actual list of reasons why this person isn't good for you and how long that list is going to be. And it's seeing these words and how he's hurting you, bringing you down, stopping you from achieving, your goals, stunting you, not allowing you to be the full version of yourself that you know you can be, right?
Yeah, because you're pretty great.
Like, it's a problem. You're just having an issue executing what you know you need to execute. So I think that might help you in that.
Yeah, and I imagine too, like when the codependency thing can like muck up your brain a little bit, and so like you can get really hooked on hope that it's going to change, or doubt that is this worth leaving? But like, we don't know you. We just read this email. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. This relationship doesn't make sense for you. Like, and it's hard to have that bird's eye view of yourself because you are in it. But please know, like, all these things you're describing, you're like hyper capable person in general. And so, and you know that about yourself, and you seem to love that about yourself, which is great. You can enjoy that quality, but like, you see how it's dimming. This particular relationship is dimming the light of all of those exciting things you love about yourself. Yeah, and I think remind yourself of that.
Yeah, and I think we often see when we experience things in a relationship that are positive for the first time. I think there's a part of us that often feels like, oh, I love this part of this person or what this person brings out in me so much, and I fear that I will never be able to find this quality again, like the way he, helps you to relax and has fun and stuff. And it might take a while, but I assure you that you can find those qualities that you like, and you can find someone that doesn't have all these bad qualities like gaming all day and drinking that you don't like, right? Like, I know it feels like, oh, I just found this thing and I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate
That's a lack
this.
Mentality.
And you totally can.
Yeah.
I really, really assure you that you can.
Yep. And you're going to, and it's going to be great. Like, whatever happens in terms of like your romance in your future, like it will unfold in a way, as long as you bring a level of consciousness to it, it will unfold in a beautiful way. But like, you are so set in all the other aspects of your life. It's very exciting. So like, I'm very excited for your future.
Yeah. And I think you can put the same amount of work that you put into finding a new person in like that you put into your business, right? Because we talk about it all the time. Like, that's something that I've gone through a lot. Like, there was a lot of periods of my life where I was like dating shitty people, but I'm like, well, this is on me because I'm just not willing to put the work in because I'm not interested enough in finding a partner at this time in my life. And the results I was yielding were showing that I wasn't putting the work in. So, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just stop doing this. Right.
Another thing that I found to be pretty helpful when breaking away from like really anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily just a relationship. It's like
Zins?
No.
No, never. I'll never leave my Zins.
They did help me get rid of the Adderall, but
nice.
now I'm addicted to something else. But like whenever you're breaking away from something, it's always hard to picture, be like, because you have like a certain like pattern that your life is going in. It's hard to be like, oh, I have to replace this other thing.
Right.
It's a good thing to do is like schedule or like plan things that you want to do that this person or whatever it is stopping you from.
Right.
And so then it makes it so much easier to break that thing off, because you're like, oh, I want to do these other things that I have on my schedule already. That this has to go so I can.
More than hanging out with this fucking idiot.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you like make it a logistical nightmare to maintain a relationship with them, and there you go.
Yeah, just do what men do. Just slowly ghost him.
Yeah, or weaponize your incompetence. Yeah, so I hope that helped. If you are in New York City, Thursday, September 19th, 7 p.m. at Zinc Bar, myself and Haley Dersher co-host my monthly show, Hooch. It didn't happen last month because I figured everyone was on vacation. Then I got all these emails. People that you got to buy tickets in advance. You got to buy tickets in advance or else we're going to cancel the show. We have a lot of great comedians on the show. 7 p.m. Zinc Bar. It's a beautiful place. You're going to love it. If you're in Toronto, January 17th and 18th, I'm headlining Comedy Bar. Cute. Got a 2025 gig for you. And as always, you can subscribe to my Patreon if you feel like it, where I do weekly group Zoom Therapy, and the audio gets uploaded. And I gotta say, I had a session yesterday. It was fucking great. There was such a variety of topics, and there's so many people that come every week, and I see the progress. And I'm like, it's really nice to be surrounded by people who give a shit about improving themselves and looking at their flaws honestly without having it put a dent on their character, but also have a balance of like, some people come and talk to me about aliens and ghosts, and that's also very cool. So patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson.
And Salt Lake City, you've been hearing about it, and now it is swiftly approaching September 26th. It's a Thursday. I'm headlining Wise Guys in Salt Lake City, Utah, with Chloe LeBranch featuring, and we also have the wonderful Lucy Pohl hosting. I'm so excited about this show. Lucy Pohl, she's
great.
She's great. She's in Salt Lake City actually for Comic-Con because she voices a really popular video game character. And so she hit me up and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be like the best show ever. I'm so excited. Cool. I know I've been saying it's a third sold out for a long time. Now it's 2/3 sold out. So if you wanna pull the trigger on getting a ticket, you're gonna wanna do that ASAP. The tickets are available at CorinneFisher.com, on the Wise Guys website, at the Linktree link in my profile on Instagram and Twitter, which is, at Philanthropy Gal. So there's so many options. And then additionally, of course, the presidential election, okay?
Is that happening?
It is coming up, guys. So we got debate this week. We're pre-recording, but so much is happening. If you want to be politically informed but not annoyed, and also not have to listen to something that's either too dumb for you or too smart for you, which is I feel like what it is.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I feel like Republican stuff is that we have access to, unfortunately, is like too lowbrow with like Fox News a lot of the time, and then there's a bunch of liberal stuff that is way too highbrow, and you're like, I don't know what these words mean. Racketeering, what does this mean? And so I created a show that is just for regular people to chat about politics the way you would chat about Taylor Swift Eras Tour. And it's really great. And I did actually, upon you guys pushing me, I started a Patreon because the show is independent. And so you get an additional video news story every week if you join my Patreon, which is patreon.com/withoutaCountry. So many of you have already joined. I appreciate it. And make sure to listen to the show or watch the show. We live stream on YouTube every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you. And Eric, I hear your lips.
Yeah.
I hear your lips opening.
They're puckered. They're ready to say the city first.
Chicago, I will be headlining the Laugh Factory on November 5th, Election Day. And then the next day, I will be headlining the Vixen in McHenry, Illinois. So come and see those. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you said people have been coming out a lot, right?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, Arizona was great. A lot of fuckers there. So that was very fun.
Thank you guys for supporting our young lad, Eric, over here.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I wanted to talk about something that I saw happening online maybe like a week or two ago that just like really upset me. And it does have to do with relationships. There's this woman named Allison Holker. I mean, I'm saying this woman, like she's very famous. She's a very famous dancer, but I just feel like we're not like big reality dancing star talkers on this show. And the reason I know who she is because unfortunately her husband took his own life in December of 2022. You thought I was going to say cheated on her?
Yeah, or no, killed her.
No.
I've just read too many murder stories.
No. Yeah, no, she's alive. He is not, but that was his own choice. And so, so yeah, and it was big news because he's also was also a celebrity dancer, and so December 2022, it was announced that his name was Steven Twitch Boss. He took his own life, and they used to like do dancing videos and stuff together. It was just kind of like they were on dance. Well, she at least was on Dancing with the Stars, but I knew them more from just like Instagram dancey couple. I love when couples
when they
do a little
both
dance together
or they both sing.
It's very like it feels like very not me, but it is me.
Yeah.
And
you love a theme.
I do love a theme. And so a couple weeks ago, she basically did a soft launch on Instagram that she's dating someone new. It was like a picture of her holding hands with a shadow on the sidewalk. And I saw this pop up and immediately I was like, I knew people are going to be shitty in the comments. Like I just know because everyone has such a specific idea and such a specific timeline of what is appropriate when it comes to grief. And I thought it was specifically really interesting for, not just death of a partner, but specifically when your partner completes suicide.
Yeah, man.
Like that is such a specific thing.
Yep.
And I love reading the comments,
You don't know how you're going to handle it until you handle it.
But yeah. And I mean, when we got one comment here that's like, Ashley says she dropped Boss, her husband's last name, from her name and her oldest daughter's name pretty quickly after it happened. And, and then another person goes, so we're moving on now. Wow. Twitch, you are missed. Like the guy, first of all, not only did her husband die, like
he chose to die.
He chose to die. And I certainly am not someone who thinks like suicide is selfish or says like, listen, my theory. If you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. There's not a lot of fun here. I get it. But to take your own life and then expect your wife to not experience love or joy. She's in her, she was like 34 or something. Like she's still young. Yeah. Young woman.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was so unfair. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it on the show a little bit because I knew, like, I just saw the shadow picture and I immediately knew the comments were going to be so fucked up because when it comes to spouse death, people have a really, really fucking psychotic timeline in their head for what is appropriate. First of all, if
these men be fucking got booze lined up.
If she killed herself, Steven Twitch Boss would have been dating someone new within 6 months.
Yes, yeah.
Mark my words. Yeah, publicly within 6 months, privately within 3.
Yeah.
So first of all, for her, we're approaching like, it was at least like 1.5 years. And again, there's just no timeline for this. And like, in my head, I'm like, oh, she could have saved herself so much extra grief if she hadn't announced it. But it's like, she's a celebrity. Yeah. So what does she have to hide out like in underground tunnels? Like she's a sister wife until.
And if it gets out,
it's like, you gotta announce it first so that the paparazzi doesn't catch you. Cause that's worse. Cause that makes it seem like you're sneaking. And then you're a sneaky, hoary, lying bitch widow.
Aren't we all?
It bothered me so much, the pain that this woman already had to experience from losing her life partner, and especially in such a
dramatic
heinous and dramatic manner. Their kids, like just
shit.
And also it's like, I think they really did love each other, and it's like, if the love was real, like I'm sure he would want her to move on. 100%. And like when I say move on, I don't mean forget his memory. God, I mean,
you can't. If you try, you have kids.
It's like if you've ever talked to them like a widower, they're not forgetting the memory. Basically, if you're dating a widower, you marry a widower, you're in a throuple.
Yeah. Like they can never cheat because the guy's dead, so who cares?
Yeah, and that's just how it is. And so I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to get out of this conversation, but I just wanted to like say like people need to be so much more understanding and open-minded about the timeline of grief, especially when it comes to romantic partners, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the standards that we have for others are, first of all, created without any knowledge, firsthand knowledge of these experiences.
Yep.
And second of all, just like really shit. Like, don't we just like... I think the place that I want everyone to get to, and certainly I want to get myself to, is just, wanting everyone to be their best selves.
Yeah.
Even, whether I like them or not, just like, please, like, I hope everyone's just bringing the best that they have to the motherfucking table.
And yeah. And then, because
that's just selfishly, that's good for me. It's people are easier to deal with. Everyone's easier to deal with when they're happy.
It's so ironic because exactly when people are being their genuine self, no matter how weird it is, no matter how fucked up they are, when they accept who they are and they're very honest about who they are, it doesn't even matter if you're bad. Like we can get along and we can have this conversation. But there, that thing where like when a celebrity has a baby and then 3 years later the baby's 3, but you weren't there for every day in between, so you're like, holy shit, that kid's an adult now.
Right.
I feel like when celebrities go through like some crazy circumstance, like a fucking partner killing themselves, that's got to be one of the most wild rides next to your child killing themselves or being killed.
Yeah.
But because I, as a fan maybe who follows her, I heard about it when it happened and I was consumed with my own selfishness of like, oh, what if that happened to me, or, what it must be like for her. And then the next time I'm thinking about that, about her situation, is when she announces her partner. She has a partner, even though it's 3 years. So I feel like people don't know what to do when something makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we could just stop and massage that moment of like, because like I can count, there's so many moments I've been offended by what somebody says, but you just shut the fuck up and you go, why am I offended? Let's look into this.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like a growing experience to be offended by something.
Sure, absolutely. And like I even found myself like, I'm like reading the comments and I'm like, oh, well maybe like, and then I'm like Googling, when did Steven Twitch Boss kill himself? I'm like, then I'm looking at the timeline and I go,
this feels fucked up.
It doesn't matter what the fucking timeline was. Like I was kind of like started being interested, but I'm like, I can't have these people bring me down to their level. Like it doesn't matter what. You know what? If he killed himself fucking last week, and then we don't know. I mean, also if we want to get woo woo, I do have a theory that a lot of times when people depart prematurely, or for a reason that is like not that doesn't have to do with their partner, that he could have like literally sent this person to her.
Oh, that's my first thought when he said she got a new boo.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a theory that my dad sent someone to me to help me heal my grief. When after he died, like I felt that very strongly,
Yeah.
And it upset me just so much. And then also it's like this conversation about suicide. It's like, yeah, again, I don't think it's selfish. I think it's a choice. Obviously, he was struggling mentally. He wasn't.
No one who kills themselves.
He wasn't in his healthy mind space. It's unfortunate, but there is also a level of abandonment in there. I'm not saying it was like on purpose abandonment, but he still did.
He left something in his wake.
Abandon her technically. Yeah. And so, like, is she not allowed to be sad, be grieved, but also be angry, also feel abandoned, also feel hurt, also feel like, question, I'm sure as a romantic partner, you how can you not a little bit think,
was it me?
Could I have done something differently? Yeah. How did I miss these signs? Like, what the, like, just people kind of just saying like, you didn't grieve your husband that you knew better than any of these people on the internet long enough or properly enough, or maybe we don't know why she changed her last name. Maybe she just like was like, it was a painful reminder. Maybe she realized like, I need to disconnect from this last name so that I can move on, so that I'm not constantly living in the shadow of my husband's suicide. Like, we don't fucking know.
I think anybody who involves themselves in terms of like needing to voice their opinion about what a celebrity is doing in their personal choices has this deep sense of escapism that they're addicted to. Yeah. Where it's like, ooh, this is drama in front of me. I want to focus on, I mean, I've fucking been there myself. Like, ooh, this is time to not focus on me because somebody else is doing something so obviously fucked up because it gives me the willies inside. Yeah. Let's tell her about it, and like let's turn the spotlight over here. Yeah. And it's like, ugh, guys, we got to cut on that. That's a wrap on that.
Yeah, I just feel like we really need, one time I would like to see something like mildly controversial on someone's Instagram and look in the comments and see empathy instead of judgment.
Yeah.
That's like my dream.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's my 2024 style MLK dream. I have a dream that one day I will look in the comments on Instagram and I will see empathy rather than judgment.
Yeah. Oh, that would be nice.
And again, I'm actually thankful for all the judgment that we have experienced over the years, because I think it's made me a lot more thoughtful with the comments that I leave on. Like my typing trail online is so much cleaner than it used to be, because I know what it feels like, and I know like the filth that you're putting out into the world. And I so many times have stopped myself and I go, no one fucking cares about your opinion. And I just like, and I go, unless you're going to write something nice, you don't, again, Bambi,
adding to the
Bambi rule. Unless you're going to read, like say something nice, you don't need to say anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this adding to the garbage of the internet, or is this like more, an opening up of ideas and of consciousness? When it's never that one.
Right. And if anything, you can always ask a question. I feel like if you truly have a problem with something, you can ask a question.
Instead of assuming.
You can say,
imagine that. Isn't that crazy?
You can say, hey, like, not that this person is going to answer, but just like if it was really eating at your soul, for example, I don't think you need to make a comment on the way someone grieves ever. No. But hypothetically, if we're making a comment, so instead of saying like, oh my God, you moved on so fast, you stupid, thoughtless whore, you could say, hey, I've never lost a romantic partner. I can't imagine what that feels like. How did you know that you were ready to move on? What a nice way to have a conversation, to maybe understand, to maybe like go on and learn something new. And again, everyone's grieving process is going to be very unique. But like, I think you can always ask a question rather than like laying down the law. Because like, really, what do you know? What do I know?
Please, like, be more curious about people. We're like lucky enough. Everybody's a walking library of experiences. Like, let's learn from their experiences. That's great. Yeah, I have a similar sensitivity. It's why I'm so like, that's why I love someone like Tim Walz. Like, I never really get this excited about politics, but the fact that he's so kind.
Yeah.
I'm like, this matters so much. He's so nice, and people are coming at him making comments about the son thing, and when he doesn't defend by saying this is the condition my son has, he goes, aren't I lucky that my son loves me that much that he would express it that way?
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, where have you been all my life, Tim? Like, I hate mean people, and it's like there's so many examples of like, that's why I'm so kind of obsessed with men who beat the shit out of and rape women. Like, the stories that I'm hearing, the documentaries that I'm watching, and the personal lives that I see it being affected is like, what is happening? Like, that'll make you want to fucking kill. Like, just, it's awful. It's awful, and it's senseless. But it starts like that French guy who drugged his wife for over a decade, found men on the internet to come over and rape her. I was reading that news story to Colin yesterday, and he goes, whoa, is this real? I'm like, yes. And I kept reading. But the second I read the headline, I'm like, of course. Yeah. Like, and no woman
is surprised by that.
No woman was shocked by that. And every guy was. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm now on this new mission of like, I'm so tired of the women getting together and being like, hey, spreading awareness. Like, of course that's going to happen until the end of time. But like, now I want to see the dudes do it. Like, stand up against this shit, because there's this doc, Victim Suspect, on Netflix that follows a reporter who basically uncovers all of these cases where a woman reported a rape or sexual assault to the police, and then she ended up in handcuffs. And then their picture, the young woman's picture, gets put on the police department's Facebook saying she lied about being raped. And then talk about the internet going nuts.
Oh my
Everyone's
God.
like, you're men and women, you're the reason why we don't report, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't lying. And it's like, oh my, there's a whole documentary about this. And I was like, I think this is going to make me go mentally ill, like consuming this subject too much. But at the end,
it's like your 9/11 videos phase.
Honestly, it's so fucked up. And I'm like, why do men do this? But at the end, these women who were arrested for being raped, one of them was in jail for a fucking year. And then their case got dismissed after they were raped and went to jail for it. It's just so crazy. But then you saw at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, this gave me some peace, of the women talking in a training course to a police department, of saying like, this is how you need to treat a victim that comes into your interrogation room. Yeah. Police are legally allowed to lie and say that we have video of you doing this when there's no video of you doing this. So there was examples of police saying, we have video of you making out with this person, so it's consensual. So why did you lie about it? You know? So they came into and talked to the police and said, you can't do this. And you saw the police officers' eyes as they were taking in these two women that this happened to, and you saw they're like, the odds of them doing that to another woman are almost zero, because they were horrified. They were horrified that a woman had to go through this. And I'm like, this is what needs to be done. So I say all that to say, when I have rage and big feelings like this, I don't know what to do and they paralyze me and I don't get anything done. But now I'm finally realizing, like, you can do something about it. Call your local hospital to see if they have a victim advocacy program. I still got a GoFundMe for my friend who was going through this. You can donate money to help a woman who's pregnant who needs it. And like, we could take this anger and actually do something with it. Because if I don't, I will kill myself. I'll kill myself.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, what?
And then my merch will be null and void.
What was that sticker that I gave you? Too
angry to die, too sad to live.
It's that.
Too sensitive to live, too angry to die. That was it. That was it. It's on the front of my notebook. That's totally how I feel.
That was like, that's that energy again.
That's totally how I feel. This planet's too much for me. But when you talk about, like, how do you channel that? Then it's like, okay, well, now.
Well, I think that's the key. You just see so much misplaced anger. And that's why I get, especially on Without a Country, I'm always talking about an example I use a lot is when people got so angry about them changing the shoes that the green M&M was wearing. And I go, guys, I love the level of energy you're bringing here, but
right.
like that's put that energy into regulating guns.
Yeah.
Let's just like kind of put that over here.
And I'm like,
but it feels, but the thing is, changing the shoes, the green, I know exactly what it is. Changing the shoes on the green M&M feels tangible. Stopping school shootings does not.
Right.
And so people want to feel like, well, I did something. I can check something off my to-do list. I made change today.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter.
You didn't.
It really doesn't matter. You wasted everybody's time.
And then you're getting a high off of this false change you
wasted
made?
everybody's. If you got mad about the shoes the green M&M was wearing, you wasted everyone's time, including your own.
Yeah, and I think that anger is super valuable. It's very sacred. Anger can be very sacred. It can be awful, but it can be sacred. And it's like, and it made me think, like, there could be a law that requires every police department in the country to have training in sexual assault. So they
know how to do it? I mean,
yes.
No,
yes.
I'm saying so they know how to sexually assault, because I fucking hate
that's
cops.
Not good. Yeah.
Well, cops love to turn off a body cam. Oh, there's always a malfunction with the body cam. I've never seen technology fail more than on a police officer's body cam.
Totally.
Swear to God.
Well, but then
it's like a fucking Furby.
In New York City.
They all have a Tamagotchi around their chest.
I gotta feed it. Sorry.
Putzes.
Yeah, I forgot to charge it. Yeah. How convenient for you. But you're like, oh wait, there are things you can do that actually help, like that actually move the needle, that actually change. And I feel like we're finally coming into this evolution in human consciousness where we're like implementing and saying, okay, this angry energy is super destructive. What can I do with it? Oh, here's a productive route for it. That's actually productive. Mm-hmm. Just don't be a dick on the internet, guys. It starts with you. And that guy in France, he was taking photos. The reason he got caught, his wife didn't know she was being drugged and raped for 10 years. The reason he got caught was because he was taking photos of women's skirts at a grocery store in his town. If he didn't get caught, the police then uncovered that he was finding men to come rape his wife while he filmed it.
Imagine being an upskirt photographer and then it escalates to you raped your wife for a decade.
Now, if I see a guy taking a photo of a girl's skirt, which I've seen in the subway, I'm like,
say,
what the
blue.
fuck? Yeah. No, not on my watch. This is the tip of the iceberg. And I mean that.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, it's the same as like so many domestic violence stories and stuff. It's like, it's never an isolated incident.
No,
this is always something that someone's done many times.
Many times.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is crass. But what I was thinking about with this French, the French story is like, were these guys' dicks so small?
Yeah, they must have been. Well, see, he had rules, right? No, that was the first thing I was like, how did she not feel that? We got ghost dick,
right? Because I mean, we've written work about this that networks promptly said no to.
Right. So. Yeah, because like it doesn't
tackling
happen.
Similar topics.
So weird.
So it reminded me of our own work.
Wait, this is too bleak to face.
Yeah.
The truth?
Yeah.
No, but he would have rules, very specific rules. They couldn't smell smoke. They couldn't do things to wake her up. So I imagine that maybe one of the rules was you couldn't have a big dick. I don't know.
Yeah.
because it was brief. They couldn't smell certain ways. And if she moved her arm, then they had to stop. Like, the amount of planning that this man put into assuring that his wife was raped by strangers for 10 years. If you just would have channeled that somewhere else, you know?
Oh my God.
I never heard a man plan that much in my life.
You know what? If he got the green M&M to change the shoes, I guess that would have been better.
Yeah.
There you have it, everyone.
Wow. The pass we could have taken.
We really got back there.
Hey, but let's talk about our guest. Let's talk about someone great.
Oh, I love her.
Because our guest is great. And this conversation we had is just fucking fantastic. She's been on the show before. You might know her. She's a columnist, television personality, reporter. She's a very funny stand-up comedian. She's a regular panelist on one of the hottest late night shows on Fox News, oddly enough, Gutfeld, very popular show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Guys We Fucked, Kat Timpf.